going to start with that.
Wait a second, Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay, it's going. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Technical difficulties, everyone. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Amanda and Marie for hosting this in this beautiful poetry space. It's so lovely to bring poetry in this space, and I regret that, I'm sorry that this is the first Tabi Po I've attended. On Sundays, I'm usually at these beautiful poetry mines mining poetry so that we can all have it. And but I'm here now and so honored to be the April Poet. And I don't like to give much context for my poems when I'm reading, so I'll give you it now. I'm gonna depress you at first. I have some I have some poems about labor. And then I have some silly and with you poems, so we can end on happier notes. All right? Come on in. We've got a fresh case of bluettes. Who would want to F Scott Fitzgerald? When we've got all this capitalism lying about. A ghastly leak below my chair. One day, during COVIDity, a little after I returned to the store, alone after quarantines, the Batcave trademark smelled like an exquisite corpse of an egg salad sandwich from the fancy grocery store that uses shallots was left out in a hot kind of rain, and then stapled to the walls. Gas. It could have exploded, but instead we built a new website and an online store. You should visit https://woodlandpatternbookcenter.com and buy this book again. America for Craig Santos Press. January 17th, 2021. This is a story about the hollow points, the beauty of trees, the heaviest of their leaves, the heft of their branches, of how they leave. And then the next two poems, they're gonna go kind of fast. They're actually mostly one sentence each. So, if you don't understand, if you can't catch all of it, you'll have to buy the chapter. The Servants and the Unmasked, Stranger Bees. Where does an anti-masker work? You won't like the punchline. It pinches the corners of your ears, unfolds the fragile truth of you. One time I heard a story about a man who had seen a fortune teller who told him about a room with gold on the walls and a dark chair where he sat unable to reach the walls of broken immigrant success. And that's why I don't trust the future. It's metal promises and torn tarpaulin dreams. My father speaks in anecdotes. They help him make sense of a foreign world and some forlorn words. It's a foreign word. Anecdote. Think about mouths for a second, the cruelty of an unmasked sneer, pepper spraying deadly spittle into the air, carrying the vibration of xenophobic syllables, killing the weary muzzle, desperately clinging to plastic smiles of obedient service to the served and yet covered, steamed, huffy breaths, taking on all that discomfort for the good of the whole team, the servants and the masked. Well, here is fodder for my next poem. I can't take credit for the flowers. I can't take credit for the words. I can't take credit for the flowers. I can't take credit for the words. What is the proper economic snowball? Strange bees are in our bonnets. The last one, I've got my meat thermometer. It's the last relic from the restaurant. All the night terrors have stopped. Speaking of which, the politeness of terror. I began dreaming about an American carnival in which I was an overweight strongman waging battle with other more or less over-something strongmen in an effort to pay off a non-specific medical expense and a non-specific business/war endeavor of that America's American president. And not unlike in our own world, I woke up in a measured terror. My breath was taken and I was afraid of the cracking sepia documentary that would slow fade ajar before me when shutters blinked and clicked, and I woke up because not waking up in a fetal half sandwich of panic politely skewered with javelins, neatly frilled and colored at each end, was a different kind of terror I could not afford. I could not afford to avoid terror or labor, as labor was my capital, and I, as the child of immigrants, was programmed to the deepest deep dish of television's remote controls, default settings of the heavy orbit of cast iron education clad in appropriately laced drapes of sheer platinum elbow pads costing a Judas's worth of silver, only to fold and humbly display with a dim, dissipating cloud of pride into pieces of finely pressed paper more easily turned than aluminium after and mostly during an unending dance of exquisite, requisite, onerous, miscellaneous, superstitious, excrementious, ballet-like labor for which the breathless courtesy of othered bodies is exemplified, measured, and extracted by the invisible manufacture of teeth, barely yet bigly maintained, polished, and entombed by the relative distraught polka, assiduous, or squatche rumba, and or tumescent tango of minimal wealth brought by the very maximum securely earned labor and diligent service to the gilded crown of deliriously unburdened bodies to whom they must smile. We have kept this our secret until now. Like many immigrant families, we thought the carnival was just a machine cranking the limbs homeward. We thought the carnival was for the good of the troop, the good of the team. When I was writing that chapbook, in that 14 months I was working alone in my pattern while everyone else kept us alive from home. I just had all these poems lying about. I literally did 48 hours, put all these crazy notes together, and I had a chapbook. It worked out. I mean, like 9 years of trying, and here's like 2 days of work. And now I'm successful. And here's some new poems about labor that I wrote. These are be in the manuscript that I'm working on in the Slovak Republic. I might finish it before I get there. Don't tell Congress. And the manuscript is tentatively titled "An Ethnic Slurs / the Family Busyness." Would you like fries with that? Maybe we can teach the radiant plumes of human-headed empathy with a conscription of all who can to serve by serving. Maybe one day no one will no longer deftly use grammar and their putrid, fissured hearts to yelp cruelty at us, the gorgeous-hearted rats. My poetry makes nothing happen. W.H. Auden. Our food was bland and flavorless. I bet that the sous chef, Peter, the owner's son, made our food. The only good thing was the pierogi, which I'm sure his father made. And when we were leaving, he was outside sitting and smoking. Blah! I bet that's why his food has no taste. A concerned citizen. Okay, bet. Your soul, 0 stars. Would not recommend. It is an old Polish saying that us service class citizens know well. A poet or a cook in love will always overseason their food. I am sure the same is true of smokers too. We chimney rats have no taste. We overwhelmed and overwhelmingly marginalized socioeconomically and or disparaged and mistreated migrant peoples apologize. Is there anything we can do to make this right? Warning! Don't try this at home. An essential worker is your average disposable human, wrapped in plastic, made of plastic, next to a napkin and a salt and pepper packet that apparently you do not know how to use. But you're so creative. You should open a restaurant too. You understand why I couldn't write this book while it was still open, right? And apologies if you were a customer of mine. This is not about the good ones. Lolly, I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you all for the money. 4 purposes. Oh wait, no worries. I was testing myself if I could identify the protein by its shape. I failed. Thank you for participating in this brief survey. Your comments may be recorded for training purposes. Porpoises? What do you poor pose? What about you, pure, poised, well-heeled folks? Do you know your food? Do you know who died to make your food? A hippo and a critic. There is no ethical way to engage in capitalism, and I just do it every day. So, moving on to this beautiful obverse periodical, published by Pity Nook Press with Greg Zorko, a wonderful Madison-based poet, and you can get it from, I don't have any more, I gave all mine away, pitymilkpress.wordpress.com. Okay, that's Greg's side, okay. See you in 40. Torpedoes aren't just TNT aqua dildos. They're elegant, like walking slowly in rain / waterfalls or growing cacti in a swamp. That's what's called style. You have it or you're left with wingnuts and warts. Listen to me, please. Just take your whirling spears and spit them onward. 1 if by land, 200 if by sea. Shit! You sunk my battleship. Do you know what that means? You're proud. You've killed so many that digits are about as useful as debris. Okay, now we move to the happier part of the reading. Bullets for Roxanne. You sing Chopin staring at the circles your artist friend claims are perfect. They're not, but he means them to be. // You confuse the two, depending on which hand you use. To masturbate, convince yourself that ghosts aren't watching, or you slip yourself through the jukebox of your boxers. In short, you know they are, but you still gasp. You look, signal mutual affection with the old-fashioned way you breathe through your nose. You've broken plate tectonics of skin at the seams. I think I know why you don't love me the way you advertise on TV. This is it. Coup and walk. Roxanne will win.